that will modernize how citizens interact with public services. My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services. My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services.
Shalom. I like to say all praises due unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakwadash, the bonus apostle of Great Millstone, peace and blessings to the elect. My name's Conwalk from Jeremiah, Toronto, and this is just basically, I'm sure many brothers did a video on this. This is King Charles, right? Of the Commonwealth, right? The Commonwealth is the UK, certain South Africa, Australia, and the Caribbean and Canada, right? England is a big Commonwealth country, and they're pushing this digital identification. They're moving very fast, and that was last year. One of the guys in the parliament in the UK, he was pushing it. So now, like King Charles is stamping, that the digital identification will be instituted, and it's gonna be a part of your identification. They're going to be able to monitor you. If you want to get a job, or if you want to get a job and all these stuff, it's gonna be your whole identification will be digital, right? And they're gonna know everything about you, right? With their identification, as well as your driver's license, your passport, your health card. It's gonna be everything in one. And this is they're moving one step closer to having everything linked up with one. They want everyone to have identification with this whole microchip, the RFID chip, right? This is what the plans of these global elite, these global powers, to have a one world power, one world government, right? And just like what happened during the Tower of Babel, where Nimrod, right? He was like the power, like he was over when basically after the flood, like Nimrod came on the scene, right? And he was a great and mighty hunter, and basically they built the Tower of Babel, right? And and everybody was speaking one language, one Hebrew, right? And basically the Lord, he sent the angels to confound the languages of these other nations, right? So because they thought that, if they build a tower, if they build it on the high ground, that the Lord's not going to flood the earth again. So but the Lord, he confounded the language. But now the Lord, with this whole plans, right? Because these elite, they want to have this one world government, this one world society, with this whole central bank digital currency system, what they plan on instituting, right? This is gonna be the Lord is going to destroy the plans of these global elite, right? Let me get Revelation 13. All right, because we've been going into this prophecy, right? The apostles, from one day, like from once they started the whole YouTube era, like with from basically from 2007 till now, right? The apostles been talking about the whole RFID chip, right? That you won't be able to buy or sell, save he that had the mark, right? And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, right? And his image is his whole like democracy, um, and a lot of these different things that Esau has done, that his democracy, his whole capitalism ideals, right? Like that's a part of the man's image, and also ultimately the ultimate image is this whole with this whole Neuralink brain chip, what they call it, the term, the fourth industrial revolution, right? Where everything is AI. They like they could basically, if you have the RFID chip, they could, what do you call it, the social credit score system, like this is a part of their plan, right? So if you don't want to comply and stuff, like they could just deduct points from your whole so-called from your chip, and like they could kill you basically, right? With the RFID chip, because it does have, I forgot the terminology, but basically, um like they could have it where they could like turn up the radiation, and that you could die, if you have the RFID, and that's what's gonna happen. So a lot of people is gonna die, So it said, and he had power to give life to the image of the beast. The image of the beast should both speak, and that cause that many would not receive his image of the beast should be killed. Right? And like that's what he did, right, through his whole capitalism, right? With his whole like destroying these other nations, right? And then eventually, um then verse 16, it said, and he had cause of all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So this is basically a leading up to it, right? They want to have everybody on the globe are chipped, right? I believe in Kenya, they're chipping the children, right? I guess once they go to the hospital, I guess when women have their children at the hospital, right? The hospital is giving people their RFID, right? So I believe in Switzerland, they're already doing it. The people don't walk with cash. People have the RFID chip, right? So it's already happening. It's already happening in China, right? They don't have like the RFID chip like rolled out, but basically they have the system already rolled out. Where if you go to China, like they have facial recognition, everything, right? So so all of this is a part of this man's image, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the number of the beast or the number of name. So we're approaching the time that because the UK is bringing this out, and basically it's gonna come in here in Canada and America, right? And eventually, you won't be able to be a part of this man's society unless you bow down to this man's society, his image, right? And you get the RFID, right? And that's why a lot of us are gonna lose jobs. We're gonna lose comfort in this society, and we're gonna be nomads. We're gonna be outcasts, right? That nomad might buy or sell. Say if he that had the mark or the no, so the mark is known as charagma, right? When you go into the Greek, charagma, right? Sorry, the mark. One second. Here it is, which is charagma, right? Let's play this here. The Septuagint.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
Charagma, right? So a stamp and printed mark, right? So this is gonna be something that's gonna be inserted in you, right? A mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the follower of the Antichrist, right? And there's not just one Antichrist, there's many Antichrists that's against the Heavenly Father, against the Lord, right? Because they wanna this is global, right? And you know the World Health Forum, sorry, the World Health organization, right, known as the WHO, they're behind it, right? Because they're going to push it, you know, through your hospital, you know, everything, right? And basically, like, everything what's going on with this whole poly crisis, with the whole no, like this hantavirus and stuff. This is all like a build up for the people to you know, submit and get this RFID chip, you know, because this is basically this is like a prequel of what's gonna happen. The mark branded upon horses, the things carved or sculptured, graven work, an adulterous image, right? And you know, and this is their plan, right, to have everybody chipped, right? You know, like, you know, they want to have, because they're getting rid of cash. Everything is going to go cashless, right? And it's not just going to be your phone, it's going to be something that's going to be inserted in you, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the number of his beast or the number of his name. Here's wisdom, let him have understanding, count the number of the beast, right? And you know, the beast is referring to you damn Edomites, you small hats, you know, this whole beast system that you know, that Esau has set up, you know, starting with America, NATO, and the EU, right? For it's the number of a man, and his number is 603 score and 6, right? So when you go into that, is in the Greek is Chi Psi Stigma, right? And I believe a stigma, yeah, Chi Psi Stigma, right? Because a stigma is something that's going to be like a palisade, or something that's going to be impaled in you, right? I believe 600. Yeah, that's right. But there's not. I'm looking for the one that says when you go into like a stigma. Let's go into it. Let me go into the one moment. Yeah, so in you go into stigma in the Greek, right? It says a mark, a punctured tattoo, right? And in Leviticus, we're not supposed to have no everything engraved or carved in our flesh, right? Or have tattoos, because that's against our law, right? But basically, they want to be able to brand you and own you forever. This is the plans of these global elite. So a mark, a puncture, a tattoo, or a brand made by a pointed instrument, right? So yeah, you're not supposed to make no cuttings in your flesh for the dead or not, But basically, they want to brand you, man. This is all a part of their branding system, man. And the prophets, the apostles of Great Millstone, and the followers of the Great Millstone, right? And those who's following the same doctrine, right? They are right, because this is going to be the final prophecy that's going to it's going to be the nail in the coffin, man. Once this whole RFID chip is going to be laid out, so that's pretty much it. So with that, I'd like to say all praise is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Makakwadash, the bonus part of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.